And just like that, it's time for Marathon Weekend. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new around here, make sure that you subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you can be the first to see the upcoming Marathon Weekend, Disneyland Half Marathon Weekend, Princess Half Marathon Weekend, and even more Run Disney content. Make sure that you use the timestamps in the description box below to navigate your way through all the parts of the video that are applicable to you. Now, with all of that housekeeping out of the way, and without further ado, let's dive right on into the 2024 Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend Digital Event Guide. We are once again greeted by the new VP of ESPN Wide World of Sports, Run Disney and Disney Water Parks, Adam Ball. I was able to meet and get to know Adam a little bit during Wine and Dine, and just as I suspected, we are in good hands. Come to find out, he's a Run Disney runner too. Isn't that cool? He knows Run Disney not only from a cast member side, but also from a runner side. So if you see him during the weekend, make sure that you introduce yourself. The weekend events. Clicking the Weekend Events tab will bring you to a page filled with everything you ever cared to know, including details about the Expo, the 4 different race distances, important information, a closer look at the celebrated charity for the weekend, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and more Run Disney events. There's also digital booths from various vendors who you'll find at the Health and Fitness Expo. It's a lot of information, so let's break it all down, starting with the Health and Fitness Expo. The Health and Fitness Expo, or Expo as we'll call it from here on out, is 4 days in length and begins on Wednesday, January 3rd with operating hours from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., Thursday, January 4th from noon to 7, Friday, January 5th from noon to 7, and Saturday, January 6th from 11 to 3. The Expo is located at the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex and is accessible via bus transportation from the Walt Disney World Resort hotels, from rideshare or personal vehicle. Buses from the resorts will begin running 30 minutes prior to the Expo opening and for 30 minutes after the Expo closes. A note here. You must attend the Expo the day before your first race in order to get your bibs. Run Disney has made that abundantly clear, but because I feel like y'all have forced my hand and I have to address this in a very public space, there has historically been emergency bid pickup the morning of the races. This is not publicized and is up to the sole discretion of Run Disney whether or not to continue to offer it. Emergency translates into like acts of God, like freak weather. An emergency is not your poor planning, just saying. The dates of these events have been known for a very long time, and we've had time to plan accordingly. Are you stranded in a city because of a canceled flight? You have zero control over that, and Run Disney knows that. Please be aware that if you're going to goof around and find out whether or not this is a thing for any of the upcoming races, make plans to be at the staging area extremely early and have your ID with you. Again, if you hear me say one thing about this, it is completely up to Run Disney as to whether this will continue. If it does and is abused, kiss it goodbye. Don't be the reason that people who are actually stuck and can't get to the Expo are denied their participation in the event because heaven help us, you can't be inconvenienced to arrive a day early when you've known about this for close to a year. Clear? Just go by this famous phrase. There is no day of race bib pickup. Okay, moving on. Pro tip, there will be large signs posted on your resort hotel property somewhere in the lobby with resort specific details regarding Expo transportation, important times, race morning transportation, and any special resort specific offerings for the weekend like a runner's breakfast box, etc. If you'll be attending the Expo on the first day, let me repeat, first day, which is Wednesday, and you're interested in browsing through the official Run Disney merchandise for the weekend, you will need to join the virtual queue to gain entry into the Advent Health Arena. Yes, even if you have no intention of buying anything, or you're just a runner's family member with no bib assigned to your name, you'll still have to join the queue. Those runners and their guests who are shopping on any other day do not have to join the virtual queue. This is for Wednesday only. Instructions on how to join the queue are available in the digital event guide, but they are nearly identical to how you would join a virtual queue for Tron or Guardians of the Galaxy. Those runners and their guests located within 45 miles of Disney property can join the virtual queue starting at 8:30 a.m. You will then be given an approximate return time. Make sure that you have your push notifications enabled in your My Disney Experience app, as they will push a notification to you that it's your time to shop. Once you're notified, you'll have 1 hour, 60 minutes, to return and gain entry. Cast members will scan your magic band or the QR code on your phone that you are given at the point of entry to the Advent Health Arena. Enjoy your shopping, and please leave some half marathon stuff for me, okay? Also located in the Advent Health Arena is the Platinum Club Run Disney Lounge, where Platinum members can enjoy an easier one-stop shop packet pickup, including shirts. Platinum and Gold members do not have to join the virtual queue Wednesday morning and only need to bring a valid ID and their membership card with them to the early shopping hours. Remember, no one except the club member is allowed to shop early. Again, not even if the other person isn't running or just tagged along to take in the sights. Only the club members gain early entry, so plan accordingly. Platinum early shopping hours on Wednesday begin at 8:30 a.m. and Gold early shopping begins at 9. Remember, if you're shopping early with the club, you'll need to find your own transportation to ESPN, as the buses will not be running at that time. Over in the State Farm Field House, you'll find race bib pickup, runner relations, athletes with disabilities booth, photo pass information, and waiver signing. Event waivers are available in your Run Disney account and must be completed prior to your arrival to the Expo. In the event that you're unable to sign the waivers digitally, there will be cast members with paper waivers available. You will also need your Expo check-in pass and a valid ID in order to pick up your bibs. The Expo check-in pass will automatically load into your Run Disney account according to the event guide on December 30th. Run Disney will also send an email letting you know that your check-in pass is available to view. Just another quick note to add here, you and only you can pick up your bib. Your friend can't pick it up for you, your mom can't pick it up for you, I can't pick it up for you. You and only you. The only exception to this is if you are picking up the bib of a minor runner, minor being under 18. Once you've picked up your bibs, you can head over to the Athletic Center, where you'll find race shirt pickup, event transportation information, Run Disney Showcase, which this is where you'll get to put hands on actual medals for the season, hooray, exhibitor booths, and food and beverage for purchase. Like I've said in previous guides, never underestimate your ability to spend money in this building. Side note, a dear friend's dad said, I bet you I won't spend money in that during wine and dining. Guess what? He spent money. A list of the exhibitors can be found in the digital event guide. And now, the stars of our show, the races. The 5K takes place on Thursday, January 4th, with a race start time of 5 a.m. Race start and finish are located in the Epcot parking lot. Bus transportation will begin from the Walt Disney World Resorts, Shades of Green, and the Swollen at 3 a.m. If you're driving a personal vehicle to the race, please park in the Epcot parking lot, where parking is free prior to 6 a.m. Please note, there will not be monorail or Skyliner transportation available for the 5K race morning, but these resorts will have buses available for you. Run Disney strongly advises that all participants arrive to Epcot prior to 4 a.m. Once you arrive at Epcot, either by bus or car, you'll be ushered through the main entrance security and then make your way to the start and staging area. Not sure where to go? Follow any or all of your fellow runners. They will know the way. In the start staging area, you'll find Gear Check, Advent Health Self-Treat, AWD check-in and out, photo opportunities, food and beverage for purchase, and my favorite, the DJ stage. This is where the family reunion aspect of Run Disney occurs for a lot of us. Seeing old friends, meeting new friends, pictures, dancing, showing off costumes, catching up on hugs. It all happens in this area before and after each race. 5K staggered starting group opening and closing times are continuing for this race. I will say from my own personal experience during Wine and Dine, I felt this alleviated some of the mad rush to the corrals prior to race start. I'm anxious to do this again for the half marathon. I'll report back how I feel. If you're assigned to starting group A, B, C, D, or E, your corral will open at 3:45. Group A will close at 4:40 a.m. Group B will close at 4:45. Group C will close at 5. Group D will close at 5:15. And Group E closes when the start line is cleared. If by chance you try to get in your corral after it's closed, you will not be allowed to do so, and you will be directed to the next available open start group. The times are posted, so make sure that you keep track of when you need to be in your group. Let's take a run through the course. The 5K starts in the Rocket parking lot. Once you cross the start line, you'll make a right turn along the back of the parking lot where you'll begin to make your way backstage. Mile 1 is located just before the outdoor portion of Test Track. You'll then continue backstage and enter World Showcase between Mexico and Norway. Pro tip, if you're needing a bathroom stop and porta potties aren't your jam, there are several standalone bathrooms in World Showcase, with the first being in Norway. Continue your tour of the World Showcase running by China, Germany, Italy, the American Adventure, Japan, Morocco, and France. The one and only water stop on course will be located at the American Adventure. Similar to the Wine and Dine 5K, we do not duck into backstage behind the Skyliner station, but rather we stay the course through World Showcase. Mile 2 is located adjacent to the refreshment port and just before the port of entry shop. You'll continue like you're going to make another lap around World Showcase, only to hairpin turn, change directions towards Spaceship Earth near Disney Traders. I think the most exciting portion of this course is the fact that you will run right by the new Walt Disney statue that was just unveiled earlier this month. The statue is part of the new World Celebration Gardens and, in my opinion, will be the photo to get on course this race weekend. I will add, it's hard to know exactly how close we'll get to the actual statue based on the maps provided, as they have not been updated to include the new installation. Not only do you run by the original Dreamer, but you'll also run behind the attraction that should have been in Animal Kingdom. That's right, Journey of Water, inspired by Moana. It should have been there. You know I'm right. Next, we'll make the familiar run by Creation Shop before making a right turn between Creation Shop and Connections Cafe. Again, as with Wine and Dine, we'll get to run literally right by Guardians of the Galaxy. Prior courses had us acknowledging Guardians from afar, but now we've been upgraded to run right by it. I mean right by it. You'll exit Epcot via the backstage area by Test Track and continue on to your glorious finish line located in the Cast parking lot. Congratulations on your 5K. Next one. The 10K. The 10K takes place on Friday, January 5th with a race start time of 5 a.m. Race start and finish are located in the Epcot parking lot. Bus transportation will begin from the Walt Disney World Resorts, Shades of Green, and the Swalfin at 3 a.m. If you're driving a personal vehicle to the race, please park in the Epcot parking lot, where parking is free prior to 6 a.m. Please note there will not be monorail or Skyliner transportation available for the 10K race morning, but these resorts will have buses available for you. Run Disney strongly advises that all participants arrive to Epcot prior to 4 a.m. Once you arrive at Epcot, either by bus or car, you'll be ushered through the main entrance security and then make your way to the start and staging area. Not sure where to go? Follow any or all of your fellow runners. They will know the way. In the start and staging area, you will find Gear Check, the Advent Health booth, AWD check-in and out, photo opportunities, food and beverage for purchase, and the ever popular and my favorite, the DJ stage. This is where the family reunion aspect of Run Disney occurs for a lot of us. Seeing old friends, meeting new friends, pictures, dancing, showing off costumes, catching up on hugs, it all happens here before and after each race. 10K staggered starting group opening and closing times are continuing for this race. If you're assigned starting group A, B, C, D, or E, your corral will open at 3:45. Group A will close at 4:40. Group B will close at 4:45. Group C will close at 5 a.m. Group D will close at 5:15. And Group E will close when the start line is cleared. If by chance you try to get into your assigned corral after it's closed, you will not be allowed to do so and you will be directed to the next available open group. The times are posted, so make sure that you keep track of when you need to be in your starting group. Ready, set, let's go through the course. The start line is in the Epcot parking lot, Rocket to be exact, and you'll proceed towards the main gates on Epcot Center Drive. Run through the toll plaza, watch for those speed bumps, and then continue on Epcot Center Drive. Mile 1 is located just prior to the hairpin turn, which turns you back and around, headed back towards Epcot. Make sure you wave to the people parallel to you on the course. There will be water and a medical stop along this section and just before you reach Mile 2. Mile 2 is located as you cross back into the Epcot parking lot and make your way backstage. Next up is the backstage section behind the seas, the land, and the Imagination Pavilion. After you enter back on stage at the Imagination Pavilion, you'll find Mile 3. Continue towards World Showcase and begin your world tour starting in Canada, where all World Showcase tours should start. Let's get that out there. Go backstage again between Canada and the UK. There's a water stop located here as well. Don't pass up any of the water stops, especially if it's warm. Look up in the sky. It's Skyliners, maybe. Welcome back on stage at the Skyliner station and continue towards the Yacht and Beach Club. You'll proceed around Crescent Lake until you make it to Mile 4, which will be near the Boardwalk Resort. Also, a medical tent will be located just before the bridge connecting the yacht and beach and boardwalk. Finish up the boardwalk tour and make your way back over the bridge to enter Epcot once again via the International Gateway. Run across the bridge towards the France Pavilion, and the final water stop is located at the American Adventure Pavilion. And don't skip it, especially if it's hot. Mile 5 is seen between the Outpost and China, and you're almost there. Wrap up the visit to World Showcase and head up towards Spaceship Earth. Take a right turn and run between Creation Shop and Connections Cafe. Guess what? You'll get to run by Guardians too. No more waving from afar on the 10K course. Yay! Leave Epcot backstage in between Mission Space and Test Track. Mile 6 is parallel to the main entrance of Epcot. Final right turn and you're in the finisher chute. Congrats on your 10K. The half marathon. The half marathon takes place on Saturday, January 6th with a race start time of 5 a.m. Race start and finish are located in the Epcot parking lot. Bus transportation will begin from the Walt Disney World Resorts, Shades of Green, and the Swalfin at 2:30 a.m. Yes, that's half an hour earlier than the previous 2 mornings. If you're driving a personal vehicle to the race, please park in the Epcot parking lot where parking is free prior to 6 a.m. Please note there will not be Skyliner transportation available for half race mornings, but these resorts will have buses available. If you're staying at a Magic Kingdom area resort, you must utilize the monorail for race morning transportation. This will include the Grand Floridian, the Polynesian, and the Contemporary Resort. Run Disney strongly advises that all participants arrive at Epcot prior to 4 a.m. Once you arrive to Epcot, either by bus, monorail, or car, you'll be ushered through the main entrance security and then towards the start and staging area. Not sure where to go? Follow any or all of your fellow runners. They'll know the way. In the start and staging area, you'll find gear check, an Advent Health booth, AWD check-in and out, photo opportunities, food and beverage for purchase, and the ever-popular DJ stage. This is where the family reunion aspect of Run Disney occurs for a lot of us. Seeing old friends, meeting new friends, pictures, dancing, showing off costumes, catching up on hugs, it all happens in this area before and after each race. Half marathon staggered starting group opening and closing times are continuing for this race. If you're assigned starting group A, B, C, or D, your corral will open at 3:15. Starting group E and F will open at 4 a.m. Group A will close at 4:40, Group B will close at 4:45, Group C will close at 5:10, Group D will close at 5:15, Group E at 5:30, and Group F closes when the start line is cleared. If by chance you try to get in your assigned corral after it's closed, you will not be allowed to do so and will be directed to the next available open group. The times are posted, so make sure that you keep track of when you need to be in your group. Ready to waddle your way through 13.1 miles? Let's do it. Race start is in the same spot as the previous mornings in the Rocket parking lot. This is a change from previous marathon and Princess weekends where we had a nearly mile-long walk out to the starting line. I, for one, appreciate that that has now been eliminated, well, at least for this weekend. After Carissa, John, and Riley send us through the start line, we'll veer left onto Woodpecker Lane, which runs parallel to Epcot Center Drive. New and probably incredibly unpopular is the addition of a ramp prior to mile 1. Your first water stop is located just before the ramp begins, and the ramp is located just through the main gate toll plaza and will then direct you on towards World Drive. A word of advice from someone who cannot stand the on and off ramps and the havoc that it wreaks on my ankles and knees, okay? Get to the very far right and walk in the grass if you're a walker, all right? The grassy area is far more flat compared to the pitch of the roadway, and it's naturally easier to navigate. Those of you running, get to the left and run on that side of the grass. It'll be flatter there as well. You can thank me later. You're welcome. The first med tent is located at the end of this ramp. Mile 2 and a med tent are found on World Drive. Continue on your way up World Drive until you reach another water and medical stop just prior to mile 3 and your arrival to the TTC parking lot. The TTC will be one of the first places a large portion of spectators will be, so get ready for a much needed power up. Mile 4 approaches at the TTC, and get ready, you're almost to Magic Kingdom. Another water and medical stop are located right through the TTC, where you'll continue on Topiary Lane before merging back onto World Drive. This is one of the portions of the course that does get narrow, okay? One side of traffic will be blocked for us to run in, but the other side will remain open for traffic. So please resist the urge to jump the cone and run on the opposite side for your own safety and for those, cars and whatnot. This narrow section is only less than a mile, so adjust your expectations accordingly. Wave to the Contemporary on your right side and get ready to enter the bus bay of Magic Kingdom. You have made it. Run through the main turnstiles of Magic Kingdom and be sure to look up at the train station. There might be someone special there waving at you. Mile 5 is located at Tony's Town Square. Run up Main Street and stay in the moment, okay? This is the part that you've always heard of, the part that you've dreamt about. They have shut down Main Street for you. People are cheering for you. When I tell you that there is nothing like this, I mean it. I really, really do mean it. Once you've reached the end of Main Street, you'll continue towards the right and take the first bridge to Tomorrowland. Keep your eyes peeled, as there will start to be a lot of PhotoPass photographers here. Continue towards Tomorrowland until you reach the launching pad and then veer left towards Tomorrowland Speedway. Keep on course running by the Teacups and then beside Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. You'll then pass by Storybook Circus, Journey of the Little Mermaid, and Gaston's Tavern before making your way back towards the carousel. Get ready, this is the next part people always talk about, running through the castle. Pro tip for photos here. If you want an unobstructed castle shot, make sure that you are all the way to the left on the walkway. Don't let anyone get between you and the railing. Make your way down the ramp, but halfway down, start the show pony prance. There will be photographers seated on the ground shooting upward to get you and the castle in the frame. This little tip has worked every single time. Again, thank me later. You're welcome. Once you're through the castle, you'll be directed to the first bridge to Liberty Square. Veer left and then continue to run the path to Adventureland. When we've reached Big Thunder Mountain territory, we'll take a quick hairpin turn and get an even better look at the new Tiana's Bayou Adventures, formerly Splash Mountain. I will tell you, this is an uphill path in this one section. The first time I ran this portion, it came as a shock at how much of an uphill it actually is. Be prepared. That wraps up our time on stage in Magic Kingdom, and we'll head backstage to where the parade floats are stored and where the parades step off each day. Historically, there have been characters and such back here. Honestly, I really like this part. I like to see where the floats are resting. Mile 6 is located as we leave backstage from Magic Kingdom. It is followed very quickly by a water and medical tent. Buckle up, Buttercups. It's time for Cone Alley, or Floridian Way, as it's more officially called. Just as you would have experienced prior to Magic Kingdom, with one lane closed off for runners and the other open to traffic, this is the same song, second verse, but this time with more traffic. There will most likely be a character stop or two along this stretch to keep it interesting, but remember, pack your patience. We're all crammed into this together. The road will begin to widen back up around mile 7, which is just prior to the Grand Floridian main entrance. There has recently been a lot of construction back at this section, so we won't know exactly what it'll look like until we're there. Mile 8 is nearly parallel to mile 3 and is found as we pass by the TTC parking lot. A medical tent will also be located just through mile 8. The one and only nutrition stop for the course is stationed right before the Speedway gas station. Another water stop is found prior to your entrance to the final ramp of the course, the ramp from World Drive back to Epcot Center Drive. Mile 10 is a quarter of your way up the ramp, and guess what? You've only got a 5K to go. Continue on Epcot Center Drive, which, sorry to say, is a gradual uphill. Mile 11 marks the final mile marker on the open road, and you'll quickly make the final turn back to Epcot. After the water stop, of course. Welcome to another one of my new favorite places to see family and friends, the bus bays of Epcot. The final water stop is located as you enter backstage. Mile 12 will be stationed backstage directly behind the seas and well before you get to the land. Final entrance on stage occurs by the Imagination Pavilion, and we'll begin the pilgrimage to see Walt, the original dreamer. Just as with the 5K, we'll be treated to a run through of the new World Celebration Gardens and somewhat near, if not right by, the new Walt Disney Dreamer statue. We'll leave this area through a portion of the walkways that were previously hidden by construction walls and by Connections Cafe before making our way past Guest Relations. Spaceship Earth will be on your left as you leave Epcot backstage. Mile 13 is right before the final turn, and after a few more strides, you're at the finish line. Congratulations on your half marathon. The marathon, the granddaddy, the big one, the giant, the colossal, the final 26.2 mile victory lap in your journey. It's the marathon. The marathon takes place on Sunday, January 7th with a race start time of 5 a.m. Race start and finish are located in the Epcot parking lot. Bus transportation will begin from the Walt Disney World Resorts, Shades of Green, and the Swalfin at 2:30 a.m. If you're driving a personal vehicle to the race, please park in the Epcot parking lot where parking is free prior to 6 a.m. Please note there will not be Skyliner transportation available for the marathon morning, but these resorts will have buses available. If you're staying at a Magic Kingdom resort, you must utilize the monorail for race morning transportation. This includes the Grand Floridian, the Polynesian, and the Contemporary. Run Disney strongly advises that all participants arrive to Epcot prior to 4 a.m. Once you arrive at Epcot, either by bus, monorail, or car, you'll be ushered through the main entrance to security and then make your way to the start and staging area. Not sure where to go? Follow any or all of your fellow runners. They'll know the way. In the start staging area, you will find Gear Check, an Advent Health booth, AWD check in and out, photo opportunities, food and beverage for purchase, and the ever popular and my favorite DJ stage. This is where the family reunion aspect of Run Disney occurs for a lot of us. Seeing old friends, meeting new friends, pictures, dancing, showing off costumes, catching up on hugs, it all happens in this area before and after each race. Marathon staggered starting group opening and closing times will continue for this race specifically. If you're assigned to starting group A, B, C, or D, your corral will open at 3:15. Starting group E and F will open at 4. Group A will close at 4:40, Group B will close at 4:45, Group C will close at 5:10, Group D will close at 5:15, Group E at 5:30, and Group F closes when the start line is cleared. If by chance you try to get into your assigned corral after it closes, you will not be allowed to do so and will be directed to the next available open group. The times are posted, so make sure that you keep track of when you need to be in your group. 26.2 miles stand between you and a medal or medals. So let's go. Start line area is the same as each of the previous race mornings and is located in the Rocket parking lot. Unlike the half marathon the morning prior, where we veered left and left property, the marathon course takes us to the right and backstage, similar to the 5K course. The main difference here is that you'll be running on Epcot Center Drive rather than an interior road. Mile 1 is located on Epcot Center Drive, and the first water stop will be just through the mile marker. Once you pass the water stop, the course will veer to your right via an exit ramp, and you'll proceed to Overpass Road. You're now backstage at Epcot. The first medical tent will be on Overpass Road near the outdoor portion of Test Track. Continue on stage at Epcot via the entrance between Mexico and Norway, but rather than turn left and proceed to the showcase, you'll turn right and make your way towards the port of entry. Remember how you came on stage during the half at the Imagination Pavilion? Well, that's how you'll leave Epcot this time. Continue backstage passing the land, the seas, and find the medical and water stops here as well. Leave Epcot via the bus bays and keep running the same route as you would have yesterday, but backwards. Mile 3 is at the midpoint of the Epcot parking lot. Once you reach the hairpin turn from previous courses, you'll be on Epcot Center Drive and starting the trek to Magic Kingdom. Mile 4 is just through a medical tent on Epcot Center Drive. You'll once again take the ramp from Epcot Center Drive to World Drive. Here you'll find a water stop, the Mile 5 marker, and a medical tent. Mile 6 is at the Speedway gas station, and you'll also find a water stop close to here as well. You're 10K into this, 20 miles to go. The trip through the TTC parking lot will be a smidge different this go around. Yesterday, the course took you through the villains side of the lot, but this course runs you through the heroes portion of the lot. Mile 7 is in the TTC parking lot, and the first of 5, yes, 5 nutrition stops is located at the TTC along with a water and med tent. Hold your breath as you go underwater at World Drive near the Contemporary Resort. Mile 8 is perpendicular to the Contemporary Resort, and welcome to the bus bays of the Magic Kingdom. Unlike last marathon, where we entered Magic Kingdom somewhat backstage near the confectionery and Tony's, this course takes you through the main turnstiles and under the train station like the half marathon did. Remember to look up and see who's there to greet you. Continue up Main Street and take the first bridge to Tomorrowland. Now, y'all, this is where it gets good. Once you reach the lunching pad, you will veer to the left and head towards Space Mountain. Y'all, you get to run the new walkway between Space Mountain and Tron. Holy cow. This new walkway will take you to Storybook Circus, where you're run by the Barnstormer, Dumbo, and then out towards Journey of the Little Mermaid. Mile 9 is located at the edge of the Journey of the Little Mermaid, the outer queue area. Turn back towards the castle at Gaston's Tavern by the carousel, and then through the castle. As with the half marathon, if you're wanting an unobstructed castle picture, hug the left side of that ramp the entire way down like your life depends on it. There will be photographers at the base of the castle with their cameras pointed upwards so that they can capture you and the castle in the same shot. Take the first bridge towards Liberty Square and run the same route as the day before through Adventureland, and then a brief detour to check on Big Thunder Mountain and Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Leave Magic Kingdom through the backstage area and head back to where the parade floats are. A medical tent and water stop are located as you officially leave backstage. Mile 10 will be at the start of Cone Alley, so make sure you've packed your patience. The next water stop is parallel to the Grand Floridian, and Mile 11 is parallel to the Polynesian. There has been a lot of construction in this area, so we won't know exactly what this looks like until race day. Once you reach the edge of the TTC parking lot, you'll take a slight right and end up on a backstage road called Bear Island Road. Isn't that a great name? A water stop and Mile 12 are located as you begin the journey to Animal Kingdom. The second of 5 nutrition stops is also located on this road, and another water stop is here as well. Mile 13 is located just before the Reedy Creek Environmental Sciences Building. You are slowly but surely approaching the back of Animal Kingdom. Just after you cross over Western Way, you'll be in the backstage area of Animal Kingdom. There will be a water stop just after the Mile 14 marker. Mile 15 is located at the Wildlife Express train near Kilimanjaro Safaris. Continue through this section and along the pathway leading towards Expedition Everest. Now, I know that everyone has heard of riding Everest during the marathon, and it's very much a thing, okay? That being said, budget your time accordingly. The park and ride may not be open when you reach here if you're on the speedier side. If you're like me and you're bringing up the back of the pack at this point, stopping to ride this would have absolutely sealed my fate of being swept during the last marathon. After passing Everest, continue past the Finding Nemo show building and towards Dino Land, USA. Exit via a cast member exitway. The third of 5 nutrition stops and a water stop are located backstage at Animal Kingdom. Mile 16 is through the food and water stops there. Another water stop is located just prior to mile 17, and a med tent is through mile 17 at the junction of the backstage roads and Western Way. Mile 18 is on Western Way, and the next water stop is parallel to Coronado Springs Resort. Mile 19 is the intersection of Western Way and West Buena Vista Drive. Turn right onto West Buena Vista and turn on your favorite music or something, because you'll need a pep in your step and some encouragement through these next sections. A medical tent is just through mile 19 and prior to Blizzard Beach. Muscle up, buttercups, and head on into the Blizzard Beach parking lot for a scenic tour of the empty parking lot rows. Your reward for conquering this? The 4th nutrition stop, the mile 20 marker, and a water stop. It's like they're giving you a present. Hooray! Turn left onto Osceola Parkway and continue here until the ramp to redirect you back to World Drive. Mile 21 is located on the ramp to World Drive, and your time on World Drive is very brief, where you'll reach another med tent and a water stop in less than a mile. Mile 22 is at the end of World Drive and at the base of the next ramp, which will take you to East Buena Vista Drive. Another med, water, and the 5th and final nutrition stop are located at the backstage entrance to Hollywood Studios. Mile 23 is on Sunset Boulevard near Beauty and the Beast live on stage. Your time in studios is very, very short. You'll duck out backstage near the main entrance and continue through the bus bays. Ready for No Personal Space Alley? Ready or not? Because here she comes. The walkway that connects Hollywood Studios to the boardwalk serves as your personal runway, literally. Pack your patience here as well. There will most likely not be room to run, especially towards the back of the pack. At that point, just keep moving. You'll have less than 3 miles to go at this point. A water stop is located near the tennis courts of the Boardwalk Resort area. A medical tent will be near the Boardwalk sign. Mile 24 will be located across from the Boardwalk Resort. Continue on the boardwalk and be careful, it can be really slippery here, until you reach the bridge connecting the boardwalk to the International Gateway. Enter back into Epcot via the International Gateway, but remain backstage at the Skyliner station. Continue backstage until you emerge on stage between Canada and the UK. You will make a counterclockwise lap of World Showcase, passing France, Morocco, Japan, the American Adventure, Italy, Germany, where mile 25 is, China, Norway, and Mexico. Take a right-hand turn to be face-to-face with Spaceship Earth. Once again, you'll be treated to a run-by of the newly opened garden area and Walt's new statue before heading backstage between Mission Space and Test Track. Dig a little deeper, you've almost done it. The final mile marker, mile 26, will be just through the backstage exit. One final right turn and look. There it is. It's your marathon finish line. Congratulations. I always seem to get a lot of questions about spectating, and I almost always have an answer. So let's talk about each race distance and the spectating possibilities of them. A new addition to the guide this year is a handy dandy graphic which lays out all possible spectating locations, how to get there, and the times that they are available. So spectating the 5K. Due to the race being mostly inside Epcot, your potential spectating locations are limited to the start and the finish line locations only. Run Disney and I strongly encourage you to utilize the race transportation with your runner if at all possible. Multiple road closures, especially for the longer distance races, make driving to spectate a potential nightmare. Spectating the 10K. Official spectating locations remain the start and the finish line areas of the Epcot parking lot. However, if your family or friends are staying at the yacht and beach or the boardwalk area resorts, they can come down and cheer for you as you go past. It is possible to drive to these locations if you're there early enough and if the gate attendant allows you to park there. The cast members have become increasingly strict, and rightfully so, on not allowing people to park in the hotel lots if they don't have a reason to be there, like a dining reservation, which why would you be at a dining reservation at 4 in the morning? Anyway, your ability to park at these locations and your ability to spectate at them are always a gamble. Spectating the half marathon. According to the infographic in the digital event guide, the viewpoints are as follows. The Epcot parking lot starting area, the TTC, Main Street, the Contemporary and Grand Floridian resorts, but this is only accessible to guests staying at those resorts, and the finish line area. This is definitely more options, but how in the world will you get to the TTC and Main Street? Arrive with your runner via official transportation or driving to the Epcot parking lot. Yes, it's early. It's absolutely early. I know. Once you've said your goodbyes and good lucks, head to the Epcot monorail station, board the monorail, and sit back and relax as you're ushered to the TTC. TTC is the cheer spot? Great. You've made it. Want to journey on to Magic Kingdom? Perfect. Switch lines to the Magic Kingdom line and you'll arrive in style a few short minutes later. Valid theme park tickets or park reservations are not required to enter the park this early. You'll find half of Main Street roped off to accommodate the runners on the right side and the cheerleaders, that's you, on the left. Historically, we've only been allowed to cheer as far down as the beginning of the street in front of the founder statue. No other part of the park is accessible to spectators. A piece of advice, if a particular spot is of high importance for you, like Casey's is for me, you need to get there early. According to the guide, the monorail will begin running by 5:15. Now, historically, it's run earlier than that. Be there earlier than you think you need to be. Additionally, the bus bay area of Epcot is another unlisted but totally acceptable place to spectate for this course. Spectating the marathon. Oh boy, if you wanted options, well, we've got you some options. The potential spectator viewpoints as listed in the event guide for the marathon distance include the start line area, the TTC, Main Street, Contemporary, and the Grand Floridian resorts, but only if your guests are staying there, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Boardwalk, Epcot, and the finish line. So let's break each of these down. The start and finish lines are essentially in the same place, so we'll just call those self-explanatory. If cheering at the TTC, which is mile 7.2, is where you want to be, then you can get there via monorail transportation only from the Epcot station. Driving to cheer at the TTC or Magic Kingdom is a big old no-go. Magic Kingdom is reachable via the monorail as well as from the Epcot station by way of the TTC. Remember, you don't have to have a valid park ticket or reservation to cheer from Main Street Marathon Morning. And even if you did have a ticket, they would clear you out and make you scan to re-enter for the day for security purposes. How about spectating at Animal Kingdom? I will never do that, which is mile 15 through 16. You absolutely can, but it'll require a valid park ticket for that day in order to get there and within operating park hours. All of the time in Animal Kingdom is within the bounds of the park and the backstage areas. No runners will be visible from the parking lot. Hollywood Studios, more your speed? Same rules apply. Valid park ticket for race day, and you must take WDW transportation via the bus or the friendship boats from the Boardwalk area resorts. Want to see the Victory Lap and World Showcase? You absolutely can as well, but you will need also a valid park ticket for race day in order to gain entry here. Please let me encourage and advise you to look at these infographics and spend some time with your runner, family, or friends in order to set the expectations of where you expect to see them. Logistically speaking, it's impossible to see a runner at each of these points on the course simply due to the fact that transportation to each of them will take time, and it's more time than you'll have between miles that they've got to run, if that makes sense. Pick one or two places and aim to be there. For me, it's Main Street and World Showcase. You'll absolutely find me there until the last runners come through. I will always stay for the last runners. I know this video is a long one. Hang with me. We are almost through. Let's talk a few general things, housekeeping if you will, reminders, FYIs. Please follow race etiquette. Runners remain to the left, walkers to the right. If you are an interval runner like myself, raise your hand as you begin a running segment and move over to the left. Raise your hand again to signal that you will be walking soon and begin to make your way over back to the right side of the road. It's honestly just common courtesy to your fellow runners, and it's a great way to avoid unnecessary collisions or injuries. Please only walk or run 2 runners abreast, especially in the tight areas such as Cone Alley and No Personal Space Alley. You can take this to the bank. If I see someone walking more than 2 in a line, I will play Red Rover with you and call you out. I've done it, and it was a lot of fun for me. Maybe not for them, but it was for me. Make sure that your bib is on the front of your person and visible at all times. The presence of a bib signals to the race officials and other cast members that you're meant to be on the course and participating. If at any time you're caught without your bib, you will be removed from the course and face possible further consequences. Wearing your bib on the front of your person and not hidden under jackets, layering shirts, or props ensures that you will get your race photos too. Run Disney supplies dozens of photographers throughout the course, and your pictures are sent to you via your bib number in your My Disney Experience app. If it's not visible, you won't get your pictures. PhotoPass photographers will be very noticeable on the course and are most densely packed in the parks. The only photographers on the road will be the ones with the characters taking those photos only. They're visible in the parks by the lime green tents they sit near, and if it's still dark outside, the giant lights they use to get the perfect shot. It's very important that you keep moving when you see them. They are trained to take several photos in quick succession, so you don't need to stop and pose for them. Stopping in the pathway creates a hazard for you, the photographer, and other runners around you. Do not stop for them. They got your pictures. I promise you that they did. As far as running with friends, Run Disney highly encourages it. But that being said, if you're all assigned different starting groups, the friends in the higher groups can fall back to the lower groups, but not the other way around. If the majority of your group is in D, but you're the fast one in A, they can't join you in A, but you absolutely can join them in D. This has happened in nearly every race of recent memory, and it works out just fine. Have a plan and set a meeting point on course and have a great time. For example, during Wine and Dine 5K, Fred and his family all had Group A while I was in Group B. They started in A and walked at a leisurely pace. I started in B and ran my intervals, and I had caught up to them in less than a mile. We did the rest of the race together and had a wonderful time. Pacing requirements remain unchanged. For the 10K, half marathon, and full marathon, you must maintain the 16-minute per mile recommended pace as established by Run Disney, and this is inclusive of character stops, water stops, and bathroom stops. For those of you who are new to Run Disney and have only heard the rumblings and rumors of the ever-feared balloon ladies, allow me to explain this. The balloon ladies are some of the nicest people that you will ever meet, ever. They are identifiable by the balloons tied to their waists, and they are always the last to start a race. The 16-minute per mile requirement begins when they cross the start line. The ladies train to maintain this pace consistently and work with Run Disney pacers on bikes to accurately represent the minimum pace allowed on course. If at any point you fall behind them, you are at risk for being swept from the course. The ladies themselves do not sweep you, but rather serve as the visual representation of the minimum pace allowed. As I mentioned in a previous event guide, be very, very cautious when you hear people talk about safe points, meaning places that you can't get swept from. One of the ladies shot down this rumor in a podcast and said the only safe place from being swept is the finish line. As a spectator for several previous races, I have personally witnessed sweepers on golf carts in Hollywood Studios, in Magic Kingdom, on the boardwalk, and in Epcot World Showcase picking people up. There is no safe space other than the finish line. Now, I tell you this info not to scare you, but to maybe hit home the importance of putting as much of a buffer between you and the ladies as possible. How do you add a buffer? Well, try to start as far ahead in your corral as possible, which also means that you need to be mindful of the time on your race mornings and make it to your corral or starting group. Make that priority over everything, getting there first. Okay, y'all. Oh my gosh, I think we've made it to the end. Oh my gosh. Those of you participating in this weekend, I hope you have the best time. Good luck with all your races, and I'll see you at the half and then cheering for you at the marathon. Thanks again for watching. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend. Safe travels. I will see you so very soon in our favorite place. If you have questions about things that I didn't cover here, please leave them in the comment section and I'll do my best to answer them. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.